Okay, man of God, bless you. Should we go on with this or should we try Facebook one more time?
Yeah, I think when we do this, automatically it will show on
Beautiful,
Facebook.
beautiful,
Yeah, it's good.
beautiful,
Thank you, sir.
beautiful. Pastor
Okay, maybe we
Tunde
should start.
Oyelade, you welcome.
Yeah.
Adeyinka King Joe, welcome. We're talking about ministry and relocation today.
Are we starting? Are we go? Should we go ahead, sir?
Yes, let's go ahead.
Oh, good, 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 good. Yeah, good to have Rev on the. It's just a pity we put Facebook, but we're doing it on Instagram. Yeah, Rev, I there are quite a number of things we're going to discuss here this morning,
Okay.
and in the course of preparing for this meeting, I discovered three things in the Bible. Number one, I discovered Japa started
Oh
from the Bible.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Genesis chapter 12, when God told Abraham to leave his land, his family, that's talking about
Yeah.
Japa. Then I discovered that there's something called Japada.
Yeah. Yeah.
In Ruth chapter 1, when God told Naomi, go back to where go back to your former
Yeah.
land. And I discovered another thing that in Genesis 26, God told Isaac,
Yeah.
stay, don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So there are three sets of people that will
Yeah.
japa, people that will japada, because their assignment is not where they travel to,
Yeah.
and people that God will ask them to
Mm.
stay. But Rev, before we go into this meeting, can we get to know you, Reverend Abbas Femi Oduwole?
All right, thank you. Elder Bo, thank you for joining. Tunde Yelade, once again, thank you. Mr. Jagon, bless you. Um, Blessing, good to have you here. Uh, Everybody, I celebrate you. All right, beautiful. So let me even start by saying there are three levels, like you have said.
Yeah.
There is Japa, Genesis chapter 12. God told Abraham to Japa. There is Joko, Genesis 26. Isaac
Okay.
wanted to do what his father did, and God said, you are not going anywhere. Joko, stay where you are. And there is Japada, Ruth chapter 1, in which God said, okay, go back to your place of assignment. So, my name is Albert Oduwole. I'm different things to different people. But in a nutshell, I'm an itinerant international conference speaker. I'm a founding pastor. I'm a mentor to many and an author of several titles. I am a media personality in a nutshell. That's what I do. I travel
Yeah.
the world preaching the word of faith with demonstrations.
Thank you very much, Rev. And it's a privilege to have you this morning. I know despite your tight schedule, I know Rev is a very busy man. Very, very busy.
I'm
You still
excited to
create
be
time,
here.
for this broadcast this morning. And there's a lot of things we're going to discuss. I know you have a lot of things to do today. I won't take your time, Rev.
Yeah.
The first thing I wrote here is this. Rev, what's your view about immigration, about relocation? What's your view about it?
My view is very clear. You know, the place is more important than the person because God made the place before He made the person.
Mm,
He made Eden before He made Adam. So
mm.
to every Adam, there is an Eden. To every person, there is a place. Jesus Christ was very mobile. The Bible said in Acts chapter 10, verse 8, he went about doing good. He was very itinerant. In Luke chapter
Mm.
8, the Bible started talking about the itinerary of Jesus, and it was heavy. So relocation was good. In fact, it was God that instructed Joseph to do immigration for Jesus when he was still a baby. He said,
Wow.
take him around to Africa,
Mm.
from Middle East. He said, take him there. So immigration is the mind of God, not for everybody. The key thing is to ask yourself, am I Japa? Am I
Mm.
Joko? Am I Japada? Joko does not
Mm.
mean you won't travel.
That's true.
I've done Joko for several years and I
Mm.
still do like three nations every month. Okay. But then we always go back to Nigeria as the base. So there is Japa. God will instruct somebody, move. There is Joko. God will tell some people, don't move. You can go and come. Then there are people that God said to go. Then after a while, God said, move back. In fact, Joseph is an example of that. Okay,
Yeah.
God send him out, and God send him back to his people to bless them. So that's my perspective where immigration is concerned.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Rev. Then your experience so far, about traveling,
Yeah,
you know, can
yeah,
you tell us the experience so far? Because there are some
beautiful.
people that they have not traveled,
Yeah,
they have been in a place for a very long time. Your view, your perspective, about traveling, about moving
yeah,
around, how can it add to someone's ministry?
yeah, beautiful. I love to say that every destiny is at the mercy of exposure.
Mm,
Every destiny is at the mercy of exposure. The more you see, the more you can comprehend.
that's true.
Jesus, in Jeremiah chapter 1, God said, what do you see? Then he said, I see this. God said, I will hasten my word to perform it. That
Mm,
is to say, what you see is what God can perform. Traveling is
mm,
good, it's exposure. Years ago, let me tell you my first experience at traveling. It was a year 2000. Year 2000. That's 24 years ago. A man of God I respect so much wanted us to go to Botswana together, Southern Africa. That will be the first invitation I will ever get. So, and I was excited about it until I asked for how much the ticket was. And he told me it was going to be 62,500. In those days, that was a lot of money. I was just starting. My church was just over 100 people. Wow. When I had that, I wanted to change my mind. So there is a man, a professor in Botswana, that was the link. So the professor sent me a mail that, so when am I coming? They're going to give us visa at the point of entrance. I said, I'm thinking of changing my mind. That 62,500 is a ticket. That's a bit pricey for me. Then the man replied, and I've never forgotten. He said, Reverend, I know you won't mind spending that money to go to school.
mm.
He said, but I want you to know that traveling is the best form of learning.
Wow.
Traveling is the best form of learning. That stick with me. I said, wow, I never
Mm.
had that before. If you're watching us, you can help me type that so other people can see it. It will be good. Just type it in the comment section if you can. Traveling is the best form of learning. So my perspective to traveling is that it's the best form of learning. Somebody said, a man that has not left his father's farm, we think that is the end of the world.
That's
Another
true.
person said something very powerful. He said, a man that has been only one place in his life is like a man that's only read one page in a whole book.
Mm,
So traveling is the best form of learning. I believe it's good to travel. It's a form of exposure. That is why when I got the opportunity, we started doing international vacation with my family. I wanted my children. So together we've done vacation in UK, we've done in Dubai, we've done in several states of America because I want them to be exposed because it's part of learning as far as I'm concerned.
oh, that's awesome, Ralph. This one will stick with me too. Traveling is the best form of learning. Awesome. Yeah. The ministry back home and abroad. What are the similarities and differences, sir?
So that's another major problem. When it comes to ministry, particularly, a lot of people from our country can't drive outside the country because they are not prepared for it. There is
Wow.
power in revelation,
Mm,
but there's also
mm,
power in evolution. Our people
mm,
are strong in revelation, but they have not evolved. You see, um, I preached in one church in America years ago. This was must be about 20 years ago. And the pastor said to me, he said, you're one of the very few people that come to our church that we could understand. He said, you and one Reverend Victor. I said, oh, that's my pastor. He said, it's only the two of you that come here that we could connect with. He said, the rest of them that came, we couldn't even understand them clearly
wow.
because of the strong accent. Just like
Wow.
some of us find it is difficult to understand the white man speaking, they find it difficult to understand us when our accent is too thick. Then illustration.
Mm,
Jesus' message is 80% illustration.
mm,
So my own
mm.
first time in America, oh my. When I finished preaching, I preached in about four places. Everywhere I preach, people are asking me, so which part of America do you live in? East Coast, West Coast? I say, no, I live in Nigeria. They
Mm.
are shocked. And I know why they are shocked. They are shocked because of my illustrations. I'm not using
Mm.
Molue as an illustration. I'm using Greyhound buses.
Wow.
I'm not saying, you see, because even language is different. What we call soda in most parts of America, they call fizzy drink in
Mm.
most parts of Europe. Okay, we call it minerals in Nigeria. If you are preaching in America and you say I drank minerals, you'll be wondering why you drank burial.
That's
If
true.
you are preaching in Nigeria and you say I drank soda, they'll be wondering why you want to commit suicide.
Wow.
In South Africa, they call it pop drink. It's the same thing, but the
Wow.
nomenclature is different. So this is what I did.
Mm.
I knew 1996, God spoke to me. Sorry, 1994. He said, I've
Mm.
empowered you to reach out to the nations, to transform lives to the point of absolute victory in life through the preaching, teaching, and demonstration of the word of faith. Once I knew he wanted me to preach around the world, I started studying the world. So when people are watching television for fun,
Mm.
I was watching television for preparation. Let me say that again.
Wow.
When people were
Wow.
watching Coming to America for fun, I was watching Coming to America for preparation. Dr. Favor, you're
Wow.
welcome. So preparation is key. Revelation is okay. So in Nigeria, we have a lot of people with revelation, but you don't have the preparation for the globe. So if you know God wants to send you to the globe, be prepared. The way you speak, the knowledge you have, the illustrations you give, exposure is very important.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome, Ralph. That's awesome, Ralph. To buttress on what you just said, Rev, I remember, where I work, the major problem I had there is this accent thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They always ask me, Tunde, come again,
Come
come again.
again. Because we
Because
feel they speak fast, and we try also to speak fast. But when we speak fast, they don't hear us. So you have to speak slowly, and you have to. There's a way you accentuate your words that
mm,
makes people hear.
mm, that's true. That's true. That's true, Rev. Yes. Then the another thing I wrote there is this. Because I discovered coming to Canada has really, it has shaped me in a certain way,
Yeah,
to a level that, you said something about the illustration, the accent, all that.
mm.
Then our teaching too, because I discovered that there's some prayer point that is not relevant here. There's some
Yeah,
teaching that I cannot find here. Can you
yeah.
shed more light on that, Rev?
So one of the things I say to people is, even if God sends you overseas to go and do ministry, except you're like somebody like me that have traveled the world, the first thing you should do is to go and work.
Mm,
Why? Because you are working now. You think all you are getting is pay, but that's not what you're getting.
that's true.
You are going to get accent. You are going
Yeah,
to get illustration. You are going to get how they think.
that's
A
true.
lot of us cannot connect with these people because our illustrations, our prayer point. You are leading the people in prayer. So we're going to pray that God, what I will eat will not be far from me. They are like, look, if I don't have food, I go to food bank. If I don't have house, I go to shelter.
That's true.
Their government, to a large extent, are done what we need God to do for us in Africa. Let
That's
me say that again. Their government are done majorly what we need God to do for us in Africa. So we need to also learn that there are human needs that are universal:
mm,
purpose, fulfillment, managing relationships, managing finances. Those are the things you teach, and eternal life and the doctrine of the gospel that is universal everywhere. But when it comes to human needs, it's variable, and it's variable from location to location. So when a man of God walks, you will understand the people you are sent to better.
that's true.
Like I tell you and everybody around me, I don't believe God sent me all the way from Nigeria to preach to Nigerians. Look, I have enough Nigerians to preach to in Nigerians.
That's true.
If you're going to reach across the culture, multicultural, multi-faceted church, we must be able to reach these people
That's true.
in the way they need to be reached, and that is very
That's
important.
true. That's true. And Reverend, you said something now that the way they think,
The way they
the way
think
they
is
think,
different.
because
You
I
see, God said the way I think is not the way you think. So if you're going to
That's
relate with somebody, you must learn the way they think first.
that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. Then, because so many times I realized that, people come in here, like a person was telling one of my friend, he said he has been, okay, he relocated to UK, and for the past 5 months now, nobody invited him to come and preach.
Yeah.
Because I discovered that so many times the expectation is always high. That we made they get it like this, ministry will start thriving. Can you shed more light on that, Rev? That
This
the expectation about ministry here.
That's the thing. When you relocate, there is a saying in America that is also universal. This America is a leveler. But it's not America, everywhere is a leveler. When you
That's true.
relocate to a place, except you already have a name, except you're already known, except people already desire your ministry,
That's true.
people don't open doors like that. Especially because I must be very sincere with you, Nigerians are the most anointed group of people, but the greatest cook also comes from Nigeria.
That's true.
So what should be an advantage is that you are a Nigerian, but it's also a disadvantage because they're
Mm,
like, Nigeria, we are afraid. So you have to prove yourself. So what I tell people is, if you relocate, don't even try to start something immediately because the
that's
expenses,
true.
you are part of the few things we're doing now, and you know how huge the expenses are.
That's true.
Okay. So what do I tell them? Associate yourself with the church, learn,
Mm,
get a job.
mm.
Get a job to pay your bills because here you don't pay bills by speaking in tongues. And the bills never stop. The
That's
bills
true.
keep on coming. Get a
That's
job, pay your bills, associate with ministry because that's another thing. You don't leave ministry because if you leave ministry, you will discover that when you try to come back, you are not equipped to come back again.
mm,
Ministry is too dynamic, it's fast paced. So
that's
you
true.
don't leave ministry, you attach yourself to somebody already doing ministry while you are working to learn the culture, to get some income, to settle down. While you are doing that, you are also making sure that you are active in ministry with somebody else to learn. You understood it. You see how things are done. That is absolutely important. But the people we start inviting you, many people have been burned.
Mm.
Many pastors have been burned with Nigerian preachers, with Nigerian people, so they are very careful. And
Wow.
that's what we need to understand.
Wow. 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 Just to buttress on what you just said, Rev, number one, attach yourself to a church,
Yeah.
learn, get
Yeah.
a job,
Mm.
at least so that at least by that you can be fully settled down, then
Yeah.
the ministry can come next.
And you can
Then
learn the culture while you are working.
the culture, good, 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 good.
Yeah.
Then Rev, I still have more things there. Number
Yeah.
one, like people that want to start let's say a church here, what are the pros and cons about starting a church, in abroad?
Yeah. Number one, I'm going to tell you three major ones. Number
Okay.
one, this is a legal country. Everything must be done by the books. You can't say in Nigeria, I can get a house and turn my compound to church. You can't do that here. Nigeria, you can put megaphone outside. You can't do that here.
That's
You
true.
can go to jail for preaching the gospel in a way that is not compatible with the legal ways of the area.
Mm,
So, number one, learn the legal ways. One of our fathers in the faith in London, that was, people said he stole from church. He didn't do any of those things. But there are things that were done that does not go in line with the law. So, be legal, understand the legal side of ministry. Very important. Number two, unfortunately, people here are not like people in Nigeria. Even people that are very fervent in Nigeria come to church 5 times a week. You hardly see them here. Number one, because they're trying to pay bills. Number two, because the weather is different. So people that died on the mountain to get visa to relocate, they get here and you're like, you are freezing. Somebody said, in Canada, many are called, most are freezing. You know. So don't think, oh, my uncle is there, they will come to church. My member, I pastored when I was Papa in NYSC. I've seen all that. It does not work like that here.
That's
Number
true.
three, finances.
Mm.
Most of the time when you are just starting, you better have your whole money. Okay?
Mm.
At a time, my personal finances going into the work here, personal, not even ministry,
Mm.
was about 5,000 or more on a monthly basis.
Wow.
On a monthly basis. Because number one, when you are just starting, people are just joining you. You need to first of all gain their trust and their confidence
That's true.
before you touch a heart before you can touch their hand.
That's true.
Okay, that's number one. Number two, things are expensive, and when people hear how much it's going to cost, they will run away. So you've got
That's
to have your own money to be able to do some of those things. So the issue of money, the issue of time, and the issue of legality, those are the three key ones one needs to understand.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rev. Then we have to go.
Yeah.
The Yeah, a lot of people have been asking me, like now, what is the I know you are not an immigration consultant anyway, but you have
Yeah.
a little idea.
Yeah.
What are the routes you can advise people as a minister if you want to travel? Maybe
The
Canada as a case
first
study.
thing I'm going to say is that it's a word we use in Nigeria. Please, I beg you, if you are called of God, don't hack. What I mean by that is that don't come on visiting visa and try to stay in an illegal way.
Mm,
It restricts you. You will never be able to transit like that. If you don't you have to transit before your visa expire. If you don't, you'll be able to
that's
travel. You
that's
are
true.
locked in. You can't do things like other people do. You can't buy house in your own name, even if God prosper you. You can't work in your own name because you don't have work permit. You are running from police. There are some things you can't do. You can't put yourself too much on the social media because you're afraid they might come and knock your door. Don't do that. So there are about you can do PR, permanent
Okay.
residency or green card they call it. You can get work permit. You can register your ministry and relocate as a pastor.
Okay.
You can come to study on student permit. Those are all you can somebody in some provinces can file for you. Those are the five. But no matter those five, I must tell you sincerely, right now it costs a lot of money.
Mm,
And unfortunately for most people, they're only particular about the money it costs to get here. They are not calculating the money it costs after they get here.
that's true. That's true.
If you come on student visa, for my daughter, the student tuition was meant to be like $9,000 to $10,000 per term for
Mm,
2 terms. That's about $20,000. So, but once you pay the first term, you can come. But then a lot of people do that and they forget they have to pay the second term. And if your course is 4 semesters, think about that. And then people
that's
tell
true.
you, don't worry, you'll be working and you'll be
Mm,
able to pay. But when you are working, how much are they paying you per hour?
that's true.
To pay $10,000 and you have to pay accommodation
That's right.
and accommodation here. Oh
It's
my
crazy.
God. Crazy,
Yeah.
crazy. In Milton, where I live, a 4 bedroom house is about equivalent of 3.5 million per
Mm,
month.
mm.
You know, so if I have to pay 3.5 million per month per year in Nigeria, it will be a very, 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 very beautiful house
That's true.
per year.
That's true.
If I'm going to pay per month, that will be Banana Highland.
Yeah.
So you are paying rent, you are paying your phone bill, you are paying hydro, electricity, you are paying gas. If you have the car, you are paying car insurance. By the time you put all that together, unfortunately, to now pay, even if you come in with pastor's permit, let me talk about that because we're talking about ministry. If you come with pastor's permit, it's because you have registered your ministry. You tell them your ministry is buoyant to employ, so that your ministry has employed you. If you
Yeah.
come in January, they expect your ministry to start to pay you in February.
Exactly, sir.
They expect you to start to pay tax in February. So if
Exactly.
they give you a 6 month visa, they expect at the end of the 6 months, they want to see a traction that salary comes out of your ministry, it goes into your account, you pay your tax to the government. If they don't see that, you now want to extend your stay. After the 6 months or 1 year they gave you as a work permit as a pastor, they now deny you. If you are not careful, you are now stranded in this country.
Mm.
Those are the mistakes people make when it comes to
Mm.
immigration that limits ministry.
Yeah. And Rel, before we go this morning, I remember
Yeah.
you when I first came to Canada. I remember you said three things to me. You said number one, people lose their marriage,
Yeah. Three
people lose their
casualties of relocation. Number one, dreams are
yes,
lost.
yes,
Dreams
yes. I
are
wanted to say
lost
that.
because here there are so much bills to pay. So in trying
Yeah.
to pay your bills, if you are not careful, you lose your dream.
Mm.
That is why people that came here to do music, most of them right now are flipping burger. People that came to do ministry are working in post office. If you are not careful, dreams are lost.
Mm.
Number two, if you are not careful, marriage is lost
Mm.
because the stress, the environment can make you lose marriage. So how do you now preserve your dream? Hang out with people that are living your dream already.
That's
That's number one. Number two, make sure you don't disconnect from Nigeria because the people that are still winning all the Grammy Awards are still from Nigeria. The people
mm.
whose ministry is still at the cutting edge is from Nigeria. Almost
Mm.
every ministers in the Western world wants to go and preach in Nigeria now. So stay connected to your source. When it comes to marriage, get a marital mentor, create time for your marriage. If you have little children, it's more difficult because the way they think is the fact that you can't leave them unattended. So one of you must stay with the children at every time. So what happens is that most of the time, the husband will work in the day, the wife will work at night, or vice versa. When you do that, what time do you have for one another?
That's
So
true.
if you are not careful, the pressure of the environment makes marriage collapse. Marriages are now having problem outside Nigeria. Get here and it's having problem. Number three, they need to be careful of is not to lose the children. Because here, the culture, the teaching about marriage is different, about God is different. You almost believe that they're trying to pull everybody away from God. So you need to be careful so that you don't lose your dream, lose your marriage, or lose your children.
Wow. Rev, thank you very much, Rev. This is awesome. This
I
is
think we should
awesome.
do it again. I think we should do a part two or something.
Yeah, definitely we're going to. I wanted to say this morning that devil is a bastard devil, but you now say we should
Yeah.
go to Instagram. we
Thank
can
God
we
we
cannot be
did.
stranded.
We can't be stranded. We
We
can't be
can't be
stranded.
stranded. And Rev, your parting words for the minister that are longing to come to Canada. Your parting word for them.
I'll say three things. Number one, very important, get your matching order. God will not pay for what he didn't order for. The
Mm,
problem with Japada of Ruth, of Naomi, was because God did not send them in the first place.
that's true.
If Isaac had gone, Genesis 26, he would have suffered.
That's
So, number
true.
one, get a matching order. Be sure God wants you to. Number two, build your faith.
Mm,
People think all they need is faith to relocate, but there is faith after you relocate.
that's true.
Yes. An average person here, we need $3,000 to $5,000 monthly to survive.
That that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
between 3 and 5.
That's
Because
true.
most houses and bills in the house will be like $1,000. By the
That's
time you
true.
had groceries, you had other bills and co. So do you have that kind of faith? So if you have not developed it, now one of the things people will not like about me is that anybody in Nigeria that wants to relocate, they ask me to help them financially, I don't respond. The reason is because if you can't build your faith before you come, if I
Now,
help you to come, I'm doing you a disservice
that's true.
because you
That's
need a lot of faith here when you
that's true.
learn. So,
That's true.
number one, get God's matching order. Number two, build your faith. It takes a lot of faith to survive here. Woo, a lot. Get into the right company. The people that welcome you at the airport might determine your destiny in this land. If they tell you everybody, I have an uncle in New York that was there for about 30 years. All he did was drive cab. Because when
Mm,
he came, they told him that the tax will be too much, but if you're a cab driver, nobody knows how much you can making, so you can
mm,
dodge tax. Can you imagine that stupidity?
mm.
I know tax is much, but I'd rather pay tax of $500,000 annually than not pay tax and make $60,000 annually.
That's
Unfortunately, now Uber had come, Lyft had come, they are all in jeopardy.
mm.
So the circle you find yourself is very important. Get into the right circle, and then you'll be fine.
Rev, thank you very, very much for this time. At least I personally too, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Thank you. God bless you, Rev. Thank you
Thank
very,
you.
very much.
Thank you.
And let me just repeat this thing again for people that are aspiring to come as a minister. Get your marching order.
It's
If
important.
God didn't anything God didn't orchestrate, He will not support. Let God be the one
Yeah.
orchestrating it. Then number two, build your
Your
faith.
faith.
Build,
And number three,
build
get into the right
self-will.
company.
I was
Yeah.
telling my friend, I said, people suffer abroad though.
A lot.
Suffer abroad.
A lot.
People suffer abroad.
A
Some
lot.
people they can't pay for their shelter. People suffer abroad. Don't think the
A
moment you get
lot.
here, everything will start. You are in Canaan land.
No. No.
Abroad is not Canaan land. Though. You got to work. You got to build your faith.
Mm.
Thank you
Very
very much,
true.
sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very
Thank
much,
you.
Rev. God bless you. And
God
Rev, we're
bless
going
you.
to have this part two.
Yeah, we should. We should have
We are
part
going
two.
to have the
We
part
should have
two.
part two.
We're going to have the part two.
Definitely.
Thank you very much, sir. God bless
All
you.
right.
Yeah.
Bless
Yeah.
you.